I'm probably like 80-20. 80-20 that my family is awesome. I love my family. It's everything that I want. And then there's a 20% that is this funk. There's some stuff that we need to work on, right? I, for whatever reason, tend to focus on the 20%. So what I definitely need help with is getting out of that 20% space. So
let's get into it immediately.
yes. So here's the situation. Sean has cheated on me multiple times throughout our marriage. This just hit ahead last year. So this has been going on since 2016.
But you did not know.
I'm oblivious. So I am beyond enraged. And I guess I try to then tap into my 80%, but I'm off track. Big time.
What would be on track?
I guess to be a loving, supportive wife. Can you put a voodoo spell on me to extract it from my brain,
like,
or
let's
a
pretend
mantra?
it never happened,
or I don't know.
Interesting. So the problem is that you're not managing to erase this piece of information.
Is it?
I mean, you and I have complete and totally difference of opinions about my activities in the first place. Because for me, Eric and we're sexual people. And we've been open and experimenting sexually.
Meaning you have an open marriage?
We don't have an open marriage. We've had plenty of conversations that would lead me to believe that, what I did it was kind of no harm, no foul. I was in Colombia. I was telling her how much I missed her and how much I desired her physically. Her response was, I thought you would have taken care of that already. Because we're in a country where you could go right down the street and find somebody for $40 to...
But he took it as that versus masturbation. You hired a woman to be in the home.
Like,
for a
Erica, we're not
situation.
talking about that. We're just not, because it's like you're trying to portray this in some situation where it's setting out to...
You don't want Erica to talk about something?
If she wants to talk about her feelings, by all means. But we're like, what are we talking about, particulars?
No.
Why not? What's the problem with letting it unfold here so I can understand what the two of you are struggling with?
Every time we get into an argument, the catalyst is her wanting to talk about it some more. And after 2.5 months of her making accusations of me cheating and cheating and cheating and cheating and cheating, and me responding, I'm not cheating on you, I'm not having an affair on you, there is nobody else.
He made me feel like I was crazy.
So then she said,
Am I feeling?
I feel like you're gaslighting me. And then she asked me the appropriate question, have you ever stepped out on me? And I said, yes. But there's nobody that I've been involved with in New York City or anything like that. It was literally in other countries. Or other states.
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
For my activities, I was in different states or different countries. I was being selfish, I was doing me, and did what I did.
And then, that's it. That's all I get. And it's done.
There's not more to it.
Well, I guess I have to ask how the two of you think of monogamy, loyalty. What is your actual belief?
Mine is very simple. I do not care what Erica does when I am not around. What I don't know will not piss me off.
So your mentality is...
I've been cheated on.
But is that even cheating? You're saying you want an open marriage as long as it's don't ask, don't tell?
I've been cheated on, but what I'm saying is that you can't be everything for everybody.
Okay, but I'm asking you more specifically, what are your views on monogamy, open marriage?
What I'm saying is I live for my happiness.
That's still very abstract.
Okay,
So it's really hard to get what you're actually thinking. Maybe you're not clear.
My views are that people who are in my life are in my life because they make me happy.
I'm sorry,
as far as...
Sean, let's...
I'm so confused.
Just question.
I think
Do you
monogamy
know
is a
that you're
farce.
being... You think what?
I think monogamy is a farce. I think it's something that too many people try to
say that.
use as a control mechanism over their partner. I think if you love your partner, you want them to be happy. And I want you to be
I'll answer. I don't. I'll answer the monogamy question.
What are
So,
your...
I grew up in the Midwest. Monogamy's always been what should be applied. But I've always historically been turned on by so many different people. Why would I want to pigeonhole myself with one person when I can have the plethora? Now, I did meet Sean, and I met a man that I said, you know what? He's intimate and sexy. He's very open and willing to do experimental stuff, and it's about the box. I want all this to myself. So monogamy to me is, yes, I want Sean. Now, we have had threesomes before with different women, but those encounters have been discussed and agreed upon.
So what would you be comfortable with?
As far as like him stepping out on his own, I wouldn't.
Okay.
It just makes me very furious.
You were that angry and that controlling before. So what different? Like...
But Erica is saying she did not sign up for non-monogamy. She's angry, upset, betrayed by what you've done. What's your reaction? It seems like your reaction is,
My reaction isn't, My reaction is
that's what you're conveying. You sound utterly dismissive. Utterly.
I'm saying that these behaviors that she's assigning blame existed long before she had any knowledge of my activities.
I think my resentment started because we agreed that I would go back to work after our daughter was born and that he would be staying at home and taking care of her. But over the last almost 5 years, Sean has yet to be employed. So I think that's where my anger began.
Erica hasn't lost anywhere near as much as I have lost. I have children from a previous marriage that are much older. Their mother and I have a very toxic situation.
And how often do you see them?
I see them during the summer.
But not regularly.
We live in different states.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So my focus has not been that of someone who is willing to put my wife, my child, and my other responsibilities second in my priorities to the pursuit of wealth, the pursuit of financial gain. Because for me, my time and the time that I spend with my child and the time that I spend with my wife is more important to me than working 70 hours a week, as you do.
What's happening to you when you're listening to Sean right now?
My temperature is actually going up. Actually, like my palms are sweating, to be honest with you.
Because what's happening? Well, there's probably a bunch of stuff going on there.
I'm just disconnecting with this conversation, to be honest with you.
Try to locate what's happening to you listening to Sean.
I feel frustrated, and I feel like he downplays the true sacrifices that I have been making. Sean, you see how my parents live? I come from shit. So, for me to have come out of that, I did have to put a lot of energies and efforts towards being successful. So don't sit there and downplay them. Like, it's almost like a pedestal. Like, I hate his pedestal talk. I don't want to put such an emphasis on working or career accomplishments because I see the greater good in having relationships with people. But that doesn't pay a motherfucking bill. I've had to work goddamn hard, Sean. Goddamn hard. And I feel like he just... He doesn't get it. He doesn't get the level of sacrifice. But yet, you know what? He pays me back from the sacrifice. Oh, he has sex with other women on me. Like, I don't understand. Like, I am not winning. I'm not winning. I'm the one that's getting cheated on. I'm the one that's not able to forge long-term relationships. Shit, outside of COVID, I wasn't even having a good relationship with my own daughter. I beat myself up because I deserve better. I want better. Why aren't you not beating yourself up to be like, damn it, you know what, I should vie for that job. I'm pissed off that I didn't get that opportunity. Like,
That's not true.
Maybe I just want us both.
It's not true.
Maybe I want us both.
I just don't share it with her because every loss that I have had, that I have shared with you, you've told me all of the ways that I messed up to make that loss happen. Who wants to hear that?
It's a criticism, not a critique, or a way to help you.
I'm my own biggest
do better
critic. I don't
time.
need your help in the criticism department. I don't need it.
Totally run out of time.
Yeah.
We finally got to the good stuff for me.
We did get to some good stuff. Yes. I think I'm getting closer to where the two of you really live.
Okay.
So that's good.
I don't want to sit here and dwell on what can't be changed.
But what are you saying with that?
She cares more about punishing me for the ways that I have hurt her than anything. So it's like, for me, okay, you're going back to the same thing that you've been mad at me about for the last 6 months. And we just had a great day and we've been having a great evening, but now I gotta hear about this again.
I guess I don't know if he understands how deeply rooted that he has damaged our relationship and me within the relationship. Not even by the sex act per se, but just by the level of betrayal. Like, you lied to me in my face, and I don't deserve to be pissed on and treated the way you did to me.
Who does? I get it, I did what I did. But you
So stop belittling it.
I'm not belittling it, but it's the same light
There
as...
is a way. I mean, that's what I was trying to get
Okay,
at
so...
last session. You don't seem to be moved by how much pain you've caused because you're asking Erica to say everything is great.
I'm not.
Meanwhile, there's something that, at least for Erica, is really hurting her. You can say again and again and again, we have a great marriage, but you're doing things that are hurting Erica.
I did do things that hurt Erica.
Yeah.
Yes.
So...
But why is it that we're still talking about things that...
From what I'm seeing, there's some kind of repair that is not happening.
There's not an answer that I'm gonna give her that's gonna make her feel better about what I did.
Right, but just to try to stay more to the point here, something needs to be repaired.
Yeah.
You can't repair with that attitude. You can repair by truly imagining what kind of damage or hurt you've caused the other person and finding a way to open yourself up to feeling some kind of remorse.
Mm-hmm.
That's where repair comes from.
Mm-hmm. That's her attitude.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's her attitude.
Towards you?
Yes.
Well, from what I've seen here, that has been your attitude. You might be doing something...
Well, you're seeing me 6 months of being badgered, punched on repeat.
My impression is that there's some way that you're not bringing yourself to the table.
I don't know how else I can bring myself to the table. Every time that topic comes up, it turns into a drag-out argument because my answers don't make her feel better. It doesn't fix a problem.
Maybe I want Sean to tell me actually what the role I did play in his cheating, because I think I need to understand that.
My infidelity was me being selfish. The only role you played in that is that in our previous conversations that we've had about what is and isn't okay, you have said things that have led me to believe I was able to give myself more leeway than I typically would.
That's bullshit, and you know that.
It's not.
It's
not.
On some other
and
level.
It's not.
People do announce that their relationship has a component of non-monogamy, what they call ethical non-monogamy, where they're honest. Why not that?
If we were to say that's what our relationship is on, I would still have the same code of silence that I have always.
But code of silence is different than being honest.
Right, that's dishonesty.
No, it's not. Because when you ask the appropriate question, did I not answer?
Sean, come on.
I'm just saying, I'm never going to be somebody who goes out and sleeps with another woman and wants to come home and talk about it with my wife. That's just, nah. I don't care about what you're doing when you are not with me. So if you're going to do it, be prepared to take it to your grave, because I don't want to hear about it. What I don't know is not going to piss me off.
Have you both been in individual treatment?
I have.
Yeah. And you?
I've gone once or twice.
Might be a good idea for both of you.
Absolutely. I know that I definitely have stuff going on with me that so go ahead, Orna. I'm open to whatever internal reflection that you think I need to.
So let's, for a minute, talk about anger.
Okay.
I mean, Erica has put on the table a few reasons why she's angry.
You have every right to be angry. But when your anger is a big part of the problems that we have had in our relationship and in our communication, how is that helping us get better?
I think
And
I'm more
that's-
defensive than angry, Sean, because I've always had to defend myself my whole life in my
How
positions.
so? How so?
I've always been told like I'm not going to be something. Say I'm not going to amount to something. It's always been, oh, you know, you're a girl, you're a black girl, you have larger boobs, so you can't dance this way, or like whatever it was. There's always something. And so I made sure I positioned myself so that I did everything they said I could not accomplish. I would make them very much aware of that. I think I do stuff like that with you.
How do you do that with Sean?
He always says I try to prove a point, but I don't think it's I'm trying to prove a point. Is that I think I feel like that he's discounted me in some regard. Now I'm trying to make sure that you know what I actually bring to the table.
But I don't discount you.
But Erica is saying that I guess there's some interactions in which she feels
Erica
like
feels
you,
attacked before
she
it
feels like you
starts.
discount her. Can you look inward and find any place in yourself where you sometimes feel, sometimes I feel dismissive?
Absolutely.
So
There are absolutely situations where we get into a conversation. I'm being not only attacked, being dismissed, and in a lot of ways just catching the wrath of whatever happened in her day.
She's talking about me being dismissed, not you.
So here's what's happening. I feel like you're defending yourself. But what are you defending yourself?
I'm not defending
About?
myself. I'm
not sure what's happening. Do you feel like I'm criticizing you?
No, I don't feel like you're criticizing me, but I'm saying I know why I behave the way I behave. Maybe for Erica, there's a lot more of that she needs to, understand about herself, because I see her anger more than anybody probably. So for me, I don't know how to address that. I don't know how to.
But I'm hoping to bring couples into less kind of blaming the other person and more kind of looking inward. Oh, what about me made me volunteer to behave in this way? What about me?
Yes.
Not what about them?
I'm super self-reflective. I always look at what I did before I look at what anybody else did.
It does not appear in your speech.
That's because we're here in a situation with my wife who won't listen to me, and I haven't been able to help Erica past her anger about what I did.
No, we're not talking about you helping Erica. We're talking about you learning
Helping you.
something internally. That's the
I've processed this internally, but what I'm dealing with in this dynamic that we
What
have,
have you processed, Sean? What have you processed internally, I guess?
I know why I did what I did, but I'm suffering with the fact that my wife is an angry person, and that I'm typically her
she's
punching
also
bag.
mad at you.
She was an angry person before she was mad at me. That's the
Sean,
thing.
I want to be really direct with you. I don't know how to work with that.
Okay.
I can't find you. I find you doing that, and I can't find you. I can't connect with you. I can't find you. You're saying, Erica, Erica, Erica. There's nowhere in there that you're telling me something about yourself.
What can I tell you about myself that has to do with my wife's anger?
You could say something like, I've had experience where people get mad at me, and I don't really understand why people are so mad at me. I need to understand something about the way I'm doing things that ends up with people being repeatedly mad at me.
I don't have a lot of issues with people being mad at me.
Okay.
It's not a common experience.
You told me that your ex-wife is not on speaking terms with you.
My ex-wife.
And you have a current wife, and there's plenty of love between the two of you, and she's mad at you. So there's something there that you might want to look at in yourself.
I don't really need a lot of insight in why Sean is the way Sean is. I understand myself very, very well.
So how can I be of help?
To you. She's asking to you, sir.
Okay. And for her to be a help to me, it would be for you to better understand your anger, why you're still so angry with me.
But I'm gonna stop you guys. I'm not the right therapist for you guys.
I am questioning Sean's movements. Who he's talking to, emails, phone conversations, and I don't know.
And this is in reference to Sean's infidelity?
Yes. For instance, he went on a long bike ride for his birthday. That was one of his birthday gifts to himself. And I felt myself thinking, where is he at? Did he stop off somewhere? Is he meeting up with someone else? Stuff like that just, for some reason, I know you're like rolling your eyes, I'm sure.
I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm listening because I understand what triggers it, and I get that I earned this treatment with my past behavior, but I'm like, babe, my location settings are on. If you want to check my fitness track.
Before we talk about possible solutions, you were saying, I recognize why you'd feel this way.
Yeah, I get it. I earned this scrutiny. And if it's gonna take me 6 months, 6 years, 6 lifetimes to prove to you that I'm trustworthy, I will continue to hold myself accountable, but I don't wanna keep talking about it because it hurts.
Say something about how it hurts.
I hurt my wife thinking that I had a pass. And it almost cost me my family. So it's a painful topic to talk about, and we keep going back to it. And it's like, you trying to put a dagger back in my chest? You trying to put me on edge about it again?
But how am I putting you on edge about something you did?
Right. Again, it's a wound that I caused you.
Right, so I have a wound. So how are you bleeding when the topic comes up?
Because every time you want to bring this subject up, it's like you're trying to cut me again and make it about, I have not satisfied your itch.
Meaning it brings up feelings of inadequacy in you?
Yeah, it's like, what
Is that
what do
what
I
you're
need
saying?
to do? Like, what do I need to
But
do?
you're getting away from feelings. It would be helpful to know it in words of feelings.
It's a sinking, shitty feeling. It's like, oh, let's
Of
talk about how I hurt
inadequacy?
you again. How I'm shitty. How I did this shitty
Makes you feel
thing.
bad about yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
I had no intentions of hurting you, but I caused you this great pain, and now I gotta relive it.
Sean, it's kind of circling around, but I think what you're trying to say to Erica and to me, that it makes you feel bad about yourself.
Absolutely.
That's helpful to know. Using the words to describe the actual feeling.
Me and feelings aren't something that are easy to discuss.
Right, but I don't know if you're noticing when you talk about your actual feelings, it's really helpful.
Yeah.
I kind of almost get lost thinking, are you talking about your mom or are you talking about me?
I mean, the reality is my parents met when they were in their 20s. My dad became a carpenter. My mother initially was a teacher. She decided that career wasn't enough, decided to go to law school when she was pregnant with me, and then became an attorney, and then it became a partner, and then kept climbing, and then she died. So, like, I love my mother and gave her everything that I had to give her as her child. And it still resulted in her death and her absence from my life. I have 4 children. They will never know my mother. It wasn't more important to her to get well and be present than it was to work. And I watch you pick work as though your job gives 2 shits about what happens to you. That's the disconnect for me. I will never
You're
understand
carrying so much sorrow.
I'll never understand people who choose things that will never. Nobody remembers you for your work. My mom was a partner at the law firm. I could walk into that office right now, and even though my last name is on the wall and there's a plaque of my mom up there, I could walk in and nobody would know who I am. Knowing that my children.
Can I say something? So, Sean, in addition to these thoughts about what's important in life, I think what you're also telling Erica is that you are full of sorrow from what happened, from the remains of how your mom lived. How are you listening to that?
Well, it makes me upset for him. But on the flip side, I don't know how to qualify, I guess, personal success. With work, it's easy. It's on a piece of paper. It's on a paycheck. I just don't know how to attach it to the family dynamic, I guess.
You know, there's something interesting that happens psychologically with people. People tend to repeat their histories, right? You live it as a child, and then you have your life as an adult, and you unconsciously set out to repeat. And Sean, it might be that your expectation was always that you're going to find yourself again in a similar situation where your wife is going to get busy. Maybe you even chose someone who is prone to go in that direction and, in a way, repeat the same thing you had with your mom. But it also could be that with that expectation, you took over all the domestic, paternal responsibilities, unconsciously kind of already setting the stage for that to happen. You might need to kind of take an angle against just repetition and try to break the cycle. Both of you.
We actually had a conversation, it's kind of light, about, his employment and how he feels about that. But it was a very, extremely vulnerable conversation.
Vulnerable on both your sides?
More so on Sean's. He was basically saying, these opportunities are not coming as I assumed they would be. He admitted that to me.
And what's changed?
We have a lot more patience in our communication. And she's being honest about her underlying issues, and it's the same thing with me. I recognize a lot of the things that Erica triggers that are left over from my mom or left over from my first marriage. Just things that I intentionally guard myself against because of my previous experiences in life.
What would you say, Erica? Are you noticing change?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a lot better. I think I'm being a lot more thoughtful in my use of language. I think when you told me that I was speaking to him in like a punishment or to influence, I just thought I was just mad. And so in kind of understanding that it's not more so about me being mad, it's some other resentments. So we talked about those resentments, and it's definitely a real dialogue that's being conducted.
That's great. Going back to language, I heard Sean saying something that I resonate with in our earlier sessions, that you were talking in a way that I guess you were not using language to speak from really a deep place inside you.
Can I say something about that, Sean? So he was talking to his son, his oldest son, and his son called him and said, "Hey, Dad, what do you want for your birthday?" And I guess they had been on the phone for like 2 hours. And he sent me this text, and he said, "Is it so bad? I just want to say that I just wanted to be on the phone with you for the 2 hours." I was like, "That's so nice." But he didn't say that, though. I said, "You should have told him that." As far as a person tapping into something, that's like huge for him. I was like, "That's so nice."
It sounds like the words that are actually having the most impact are when you say something indeed vulnerable.
I hear that.
That's where you're having an impact. Because the more you speak from a very honest place, the more I can see the two of you just immediately connecting, and something good starts happening.
And I guess that's what I hear. And
and that's what moves you into the conversation.
Correct.
That's a good way to frame what I think the two of you need to be pretty conscious of, more conscious of. Are you really saying honest things, or are you hurting or hiding or using words to not do what they're supposed to do?
Absolutely.